Jack, there is an update on the Bo Bichette situation.
It's time for our High Hopes Jackie Baseball Report.
Joining me right now is Jackie Baseball. Fritz.
Here's Jackie Baseball.
Stopwatch is on, Fritz.
It is? Okay, well, hold on. Max Kepler got suspended 80 games for testing positive for PEDs, which is hilarious.
Absolutely. You've got to get different PEDs.
Yeah.
Call LeBron.
Get the good ones.
Yeah.
Get the good ones. So, from Bob Clappish,
Yep.
who has covered the Yankees for a long time, works the New York...
The Yankees?
The Yankees. Covers the
Daily
Yankees.
News, right? Clappish? Yeah.
Yeah. The Newark Star Ledger.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Maybe it used to be Daily News. I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay.
Covered the Yankees for 30-some years. So he wrote today that the Yankees don't appear to have a plan B ready. Outfielder Kyle Tucker is too expensive, and infielder Bo Bichette is almost certainly headed to the Phillies, where Don Mattingly, his former bench coach in Toronto, will assume that same role at the other end of the Jersey Turnpike.
Here's the thing.
A lot of smoke out there about Bo.
It's not going to happen. There's too much smoke. Somebody is strategically telling everyone that Bo Bichette is going to the Phillies.
Yeah.
I would ask you this. What advantage does it give anyone here to get Bo Bichette to the Phillies if he's going to the Phillies, right? Mm-hmm. It gives the Phillies no advantage whatsoever because it incentivizes. The Phillies wouldn't tell anyone this because it would just incentivize a different team to say, oh no, we have to go for Bo Bichette now. Mm-hmm. I also think it would only incentivize Bo Bichette's side if they were trying to get somebody else to bid. It doesn't incentivize them to give anyone this information if it's true. It only incentivizes them if they want to get bids from other teams. Right. I'm just not buying it.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it anymore.
And you probably know better, Fritz. I know the price thing, even though we all knew that the Phillies were interested, it still didn't have this much smoke around it leading up to the signing. I mean, hell, we had basically given up the day that he signed.
Right.
Yeah. So, and what about Schwarber? Was that not this time initially?
Initially, it was quiet. The one that I would compare it to is Trey. Like Trey,
there was a lot of smoke around.
It was very
Trey.
early that they wanted one of those shortstops, and Trey was their guy.
Okay.
But still, this is happening very fast. And
out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, and the report last night from Nightingale about how Bo Bichette reached out to the Phillies to express interest in playing for them right around the holidays, once he figured out that Don Mattingly was going to be the bench coach. I thought that was an interesting one.
Not buying
he's
it.
not, yeah. Listen, no disrespect to Don Mattingly. He's going where they're going to give him the money that he's looking for.
Yes.
Not the bench coach.
Now, maybe he wants the Phillies to give them the most money.
Right.
But I don't think the Phillies, to me, the way that these have all been written is like, I said this before the show, is like if you want to buy a house that you can't really afford, you go into it and you're like, well, if we get rid of the second car, if we don't buy any clothes this week, if a kid comes out of private school, we send them to public school, then we can scrape together the money. And then if we get it for 20 grand less than they're asking, then we could do it. This is what it feels like with the Phillies.
But it's not that much roster maneuvering.
Well, you got to get... you have to get somebody to take Bohm. I'm sure you can get somebody to take Bohm's $10.5 million. It was also written that they need
and he's a good player.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell everyone that.
It was also written that they need to get somebody to at least pay some of Castellanos' salary, which I don't think a team is incentivized to do, or they would have done it already, especially when they've said they're already moving on from him. And it also requires you to move on from JT, whatever, but to get something from a financial standpoint that doesn't cost you anywhere near JT.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be...
I think Ryan Jeffers settled for around 6.
Yeah, but it's something.
It's something. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It is something.
It feels like they're trying to scrape it. It doesn't feel realistic to me. Who knows? Now, maybe there's no market for Bo Bichette.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's that I think maybe the reason that he reached out to the Phillies around the holidays is he realized that Kyle Tucker's going back to the Blue Jays. I think Bo Bichette wants to go back to the Blue Jays, but I don't think that they have a spot for him. They signed Okamoto. They have Jimenez at shortstop. They are going to move Ernie Clement to second base, and they already have Vladdy, who they're paying $500 million.
So this is a panic from Bo Bichette realizing that he's not going back to Toronto.
Correct. Right. And with the Phillies, his house is 10 minutes from the Phillies facility down in Florida. And I don't think the Don Mattingly thing is everything, but at least he'd be going to a place where he has some familiarity with someone who he's very close to with Toronto. So, I hear you. It's a lot of things all coming together. But the other thing that I think is interesting is the Phillies usually don't let stuff out like this because they know that what is happening right now is just putting even more pressure on them to get it done.
It really is.
Because everyone's hopes now are high again. So it's almost like they got to close it out. I mean, I know that maybe this gets more suitors in, but I don't know who they are. Everyone says the Dodgers, but the Dodgers haven't really put anything out there. The Cubs doesn't seem like it. The Yankees has felt fake the entire time. I mean, it just might be a perfect match of his market's not there, and the Phillies can get him not for what they thought, maybe heading into the free agency.
Maybe. Feels fake to me, though. But who knows? Who knows?
Meetings on Monday.
Meetings on Monday. Zoom meeting, though. Zoom meeting.
He's on his honeymoon.